Today, I want to give you some sound design tips on how to make a song like Ben Böhmer's Beyond Beliefs. I saw that Ben Böhmer was doing a masterclass on his song Beyond Beliefs for a YouTube channel called Production Music Live, and I saw he's going through some of the sounds, but he wasn't really going into how he created them. So I wanted to show you how I might create them and really simplify the whole process. So let me just play you a little bit of what I created based upon his song Beyond Beliefs. So Ben Böhmer, he creates this deep melodic style house that's very groovy and almost ambient sounding. It's very chill. Let me go ahead and show you how I made this sound here. Here's the MIDI notes for that melody, so you can copy that. Let me go ahead and reset Serum, and I'll show you how to make it. So if I go ahead and play Serum here, that is how it sounds by itself. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments. I'm going to adjust envelope 1 here to make it sound like a pluck. Then I'm going to add the filter here. Let's do MG low 18, and I'll assign envelope 1 to the filter here. Let's hit Shift and Option and make some adjustments to this cutoff modulation. Let's go to our effects and add a compressor. Turn up the gain. And that's really all that I would do for that sound. It's very simple. It's this saw wave pluck sound. So after I create that saw wave pluck sound, then I'm going to go down here and put on a EQ8 to cut off that low end. Then I'm going to add on my delay here. And what he does, and what I saw that he does for this song, is he likes to use this thing called Crystallizer. And this adds a really cool effect to the delay. And he'll often automate this mix here throughout the track. What he also does to create these drone sounds is he increases this recycle. And then hear how it echoes out. He creates these drone sounds. So what you could do is have this recycle up very high and the mix up very high, play around with some of these settings and create these constant echoes, bounce them down to a new track, and then you can chop up these sounds and create these really cool atmospheres and drone sounds throughout your track. After that, we'll add the Valhalla vintage verb. Let's go ahead and check that out. And that is how you create that main theme sound. That's what he calls it. The theme of this track is these melodies here. Now next, he has this ARP thing going on, and what he does in his actual track is he took a sample from one of his old songs and then pitched it down. So admittedly, this sound is not as exact as his sound. I feel like this theme sound is pretty similar, almost exactly how he created it. But this one is just something that I made up in Serum to try and get the same vibe. So let me go ahead and solo that for you. And a lot of that sound, that processing comes from the effects I added to the Serum because this is the dry Serum. And all that is going to be 2 sine waves, one with a semitone +7 with some of the fine tuning adjusted. And then I have this envelope 1, same thing, made more like a pluck sound. So let me go ahead and go through the effects. I have an EQ8. I have a decapitator. The mix is at about 40% wet with the drive at 2. And then I have this audio effects rack. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically creating a low end part. So I'm separating the high end and the low end. This is the low end. And I put it into mono. And then this is going to be the high end, which I cut off all the low end, put on a chorus, and then also put on a delay to create the Haas effect. and then all together. And let's go ahead and close that. Then I add some erosion, some light vintage verb, some more EQ because there is some of that mid-range mud I wanted to cut out. And then this compressor is going to be a sidechain compressor to the kick, because it constantly plays and I want it to duck underneath that kick. So let me show you the MIDI. The MIDI is this. These are the notes that I have repeating. And I adjust some of the velocities in this MIDI. And if you do want to adjust the velocities and have some notes quieter, then you can go into Serum, go to velocity, and then drag this onto the level. And that's what I did here. So you can see that I'm using the velocity to modulate the levels. Next, I have the bass, and here is going to be the bass MIDI. And basically, let's go into my Serum here. For this part, it is just going to be 2 oscillators. I have one that's oscillator A, -2 octave, and then one oscillator B, -1 octave. And with the unison at 9. So let me go ahead and just remake that real quick. So what you do is you go to Analog, Basic Shapes, put on that sub there, go to Analog, Basic Shapes, put on the saw wave, take this down -2, take this down -1, and then turn up the unison here to give it a bit of a pad feel. Maybe take the level down a bit, and then I'm going to add on a filter. Make sure to turn it on for both A and B. And then I put on another EQ8 just to roll off some more of that top end, a utility to make sure the bass is in mono, and then of course a sidechain. It's a very soft bass, more of a sub type of feel, so you don't really need to hear it that much in the mix. And so all of those instruments that I created in Serum sound like this. And then you can add on your kick. And so the kick, I just used a basic sample like a house kick, and I have a top layer here, and then the low layer, top layer. And then I have a sub layer that's just going to be the operator, and it's going to be a sub on the operator. So it's just like a sine wave, but really low. You might not be able to hear that. It's just more to give that kick some more oomph. And then I have this loop here, which is like a hi-hat loop or more like a shaker loop. And what's cool is you can add on this plugin called a frequency shifter, and you can actually adjust where your hi-hats or your tops sit in the mix. Basically, it pitch shifts them, but in a unique way. So you can hear that they're a lot higher whenever I turn it on. And I did that because in his track, Beyond Beliefs, he's got these really, really high end shakers and hi-hats that feel like they needed to be really high frequency-wise in the mix. And so that's really it. Those are all the elements in that mix that I wanted to show you. This is just going to be the beginning part of his track. And as you can see, it's very simple. I think the main thing to take away is this really cool lead sound. And then play around with that crystallizer plugin. And then you can come up with some cool deep house melodic style tracks like Ben Böhmer. I hope that was helpful. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give a like. And also, if you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. And finally, if you are truly looking to improve your mixing skills, then check out my Modern Mix Academy. This is a full online mixing course that I created that will help you make some of the best records of your life from the comfort of your own home. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.